All right, guys, club season is right around the corner. I'm going to show you one of the biggest mistakes that I see players make that end up getting them hurt. Right now in the US, the women's pro leagues have started and the UFA is about to kick off. And if you're not involved with either one of those, then the club season is right around the corner. When the season starts, the most common thing I see is people jump right back into it at 100%. Practices, pods, mini, tournaments, games, all that stuff is started up again. Oh, and now that we're in season, you want to start to get faster and stronger, so you're adding on field workouts and gym workouts. The problem with this is we get these massive spikes in the amount of volume and workload that people are doing. People were doing nothing or very little in the off season, and now we're back at 100%. And unfortunately, this is where we start to see a lot of overuse injuries pop up, like shin splints, Achilles pain, knee pain. And of course, when things like this happen, people rest for 2 to 3 weeks because they're just so incredibly sore, or one of these injuries pops up. And then when they go back to playing, well, now we've got this massive spike in their workload again. It's just a constant cycle. These spikes in workload are what's most commonly linked back to overuse injuries. Research has consistently shown that a lot of overuse injuries are caused by a sudden or acute increase in workload. And you have to understand that humans can handle a lot. You can train a lot and train really hard and level up. You've just got to be smart about it. Any amount of training or playing is going to have a completely different effect on each person. For example, I've heard of pro level players that play 5 to 6 days a week in season. And because they're playing with other high level players, they're playing pretty hard. But they didn't just suddenly start doing that. They slowly ramped up to that over the course of years or their entire playing career. So their body is adapted and used to that. I just did a podcast with James Pollard, who played tennis in college. The amount of load his shoulder and body were used to handling made him incredibly prepared to handle high amounts of pulling and hucking practice that might leave someone else super sore or with an overuse injury. And the same thing goes with any exercise or workout. It's about preparing your body to get to the point to be able to handle it. You can't just look at any one exercise or workout and outright label it as too much, because every person's ability to handle volume and intensity are going to be different based off of what they've been doing in the past and how they've gotten up to the point that they are. A really high level player that can probably handle more volume could do mirror change of direction drills like this in their warm up and be completely fine. My grandma did this, she'd probably lose the ability to walk. So it's not about what you do or how much you do, but how you ramped up to that point. A good rule of thumb is trying to increase your workload by about 5% each week. This is time on the field, in the gym, or conditioning. As a quick example, let's say the team I'm going to play for has 2 practices a week. Each one's 2 hours or 120 minutes long. So I know each week that's going to be 240 minutes of ultimate that I want to make sure that I'm prepared for. So I can work backwards from that and slowly build up. So let's say right now, this is what I'm doing. So field workouts, I've got 2 of them, 50 minutes each. Playing pickup for an hour, I'm going on a 20-minute jog each week. It's 180 minutes. And this doesn't have to be a perfect math, but we can just slowly build about 5% each week on top of that. So that following week, I got up to 195 because I added a little bit more to pickup, add a little bit more to the jog, then up to 210, 220, 230. You get the idea. And again, this doesn't have to be a perfect math or anything like that. If you're a little bit over 5%, you're not going to die or anything like that. You could probably go from 180 to 210 here and be just fine. But if you want to be as safe as possible, then that 5% increase is just going to be your best bet. This is just a real quick, simple example of one way that you could implement this. Just work backwards from whatever your starting point is if you want to have that safest progression up. Now, obviously, this isn't a perfect process. We can't completely prevent and avoid injuries, but it's a start. And hopefully you get the underlying idea. You've got to start light or with a little, see how your body feels, and then slowly add more from there. You've got to be patient with it and be very, very steady in how you build up. Avoid those spikes, but soon you'll be able to play, do strength workouts, field workouts, all that stuff on top of it, and you'll feel great and you won't be getting hurt. You just got to be very smart about how you progress to that point. Know that ultimate players aren't inherently fragile, and ultimate isn't inherently a dangerous game. You've just got to make sure that your body is ready to handle the speed, the forces, the volume, and the intensity of it. Hopefully you got some good takeaways from this. Let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. Thanks for watching the video.